With home prices rising so rapidly here in San Francisco, is the real estate market set to crash? Stay tuned until the end of the video and you'll find out. What's up YouTube? My name is Andres Restrepo and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to take a quick moment to thank all of my subscribers. We're almost at 400 subs and you guys actually motivate me to pump out this content, so thank you so much. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump right into the video. Judging by all of the real estate articles this time of year, the market is set to crash, right? Wrong. I want to preface this by saying that real estate is local and you'll want to research your local market to understand what factors impact values in your areas. To understand where the market is here in San Francisco, let's look at some history. So here we're taking a look at the San Francisco median house price changes since 1994. As we can tell right off the bat, San Francisco is no stranger to double-digit year-over-year appreciation, with the most notable period being between 1999 and 2000, where the city saw a 29% year-over-year period of appreciation. Now, here we can also see how the great financial crash affected the real estate markets, and we essentially only saw a dip of around 26%. It's also worth noting that if you bought your home in 2007, which was the absolute worst time to buy, because obviously the crash came soon thereafter, you would have only had to have held your home for 6 years before you were back at what you bought it or even higher. That goes to show how resilient the market is here in San Francisco. Now, I want you to take note of the growth that we saw between 2020 and 2021, which, as all of you know, was an insane year for real estate. So as we can see here from the chart, it was only 12% year over year. I'm going to want you to remember this chart for later because I'm going to show you how this compared to the rest of the Bay Area counties. All right, now let's take a moment to look at the greater Bay Area and compare how 2020 to 2021 fared in the rest of these other counties as far as the appreciation rate. So as we can tell by looking at this chart here, Alameda County actually knocked the ball out of the park with 24% year-over-year appreciation. That's absolutely insane. I've helped some folks over in Oakland, over the past few months, and I can tell you that the overbids there are astronomical. And when we look at the county that had the least year-over-year appreciation, it was actually Sonoma County. And guess who was second to last? San Francisco. So just by looking at this chart, we can tell that our growth has actually been more reasonable or manageable in terms of what the greater Bay Area has seen. Now, this by far is my absolute favorite chart because it should be able to visually explain to a lot of you what is happening in the market right now. As you can tell by looking at this chart, the values of homes peak every spring in the city. And that is the same time that all of these articles are coming out and saying, housing prices just keep going up. There's no end in sight. Property values just keep on rising. Is the market going to crash? And that would be like me saying, the summer is coming. It's getting warmer. The earth is going to melt, right? It's natural what we're seeing right now. The spring is when we see the biggest prices in San Francisco. From this point now, we're in April, all the way through May and June, we're going to see new records being set. However, in the second half of the year, prices will taper and actually dip a little bit, as we can see in this chart. It happens absolutely every year. So guess what? The market is crazy. It's a bubble in the spring, and in the fall and the winter, the market crashed, right? So that's kind of how the real estate cycle works here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Don't let it fool you. Don't let it scare you. It's just how it goes. This next chart actually ties in very well with the previous chart, in which I just showed you why the market peaks every spring, right? Because there's a lot of buyer demand in this time of year. Now, in the second half of the year, in the fall, after Labor Day weekend, right, in like September, October timeframe, that's when all of the inventory kind of unleashes into the market. And this is the time of year that we see a lot of buyers that maybe were looking in the spring. Now they get into analysis paralysis mode because they have more inventory to choose from than they ever had before. And it's a little less competitive, generally speaking. So I hope this sheds some light as to what is happening right now in the real estate market. I know it can be very confusing if you're judging what is happening by, what's happening in the media or the headlines or the articles. I'm a real estate agent with boots to the ground. I know exactly what is happening here in my market. So if you want real-time data about what is happening here in San Francisco, feel free to drop me a line. My contact information is below. I'd love to help you with anything San Francisco real estate related. If you're looking for a referral in the rest of the United States, I am a Compass agent. We have the best agents in the country, and I'm well connected in all the different major marketplaces. So I hope you found value from this content. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.